All right. Spincast Cycling Show. Brian Kellison, Casey Shum, Lisa Vries. Maybe trying to jump onto a boat to get away. Brian White, not here.
Gonna try to.
Yeah, right. Trying to find a boat now to escape. Fun week. We're going to get into fun. We're going to try to figure out what's fun. Like, is fun the ultimate whatever factor into why we do what we do, right? But is that now or is that later? What were we just talking about? We were talking about Rouvy. Let's talk Rouvy. Let's just do it. Rouvy's like off the radar. And Lee, you did it today. I did it during the week. I did the Yellowstone. I've been doing the Yellowstone. There's like a Yellowstone challenge. And I went to Yellowstone when I was a kid. Never rode on the roads with my bike. But there's some cool routes and there's some, downhill stuff, riding into like, the what are the hot springs places. It's a national park here in the United States. But Rouvy has a lot of features that a lot of people don't know other than just the video. Like they have rewards, in-game currency, the coins. They track outdoor stuff. They also have group rides that are, high attendance rate, right? A lot of people show up for
they
those.
had a race 2 weekends ago.
They have pro
1,300
sponsorships too. Yeah, they have pro sponsorships. They have this new thing that you were talking about, which is the Classics Challenge. Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, you can win a Watt bike Atom.
Yeah, you can win a Watt bike
for doing 6 routes.
Yeah, you can do. I think I actually got a code for 10% off my next thing. Like I think I got an email. They're very good with their email communication. They're not overwhelming you, but they're like, hey, you've ridden enough to get like 10% next time you do a purchase or something like that.
Actually, I got a 20% off coupon from their store, which I didn't even realize they had a store, and they sell trainers and smart bikes and kit.
Yeah.
And 20% off is a big deal if you could buy a smart bike with it.
20% off on a trainer is a good deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
But I think we were talking about it right before we got on the show, and we're like, hey, let's just start the show. I said, hey, they're kind of off the radar. And then Casey said, are they just kind of like doing stuff? Because all three of us use Rouvy. We all use Rouvy. We all enjoy Rouvy. But they're kind of in their own lane. Like, and Lee, you were saying, hey, they're doing the video thing. They're not a computer-generated world, whether that's real or made up. Watopia's made up, right? But they're kind of in their own lane, and they get to do what they kind of want to do, and they're not worried about. We don't know. They don't know they're probably not a publicly traded company, so you can see what their financials are and stuff like that. But they have a lot of people show up to do rides, so we think that they have a healthy subscriber base because there's no free version. It's pay to ride, right? So
and their monthly subscription's cheaper.
Yeah, monthly subscription, and they have a family plan. They have a dual plan, and they have a family plan.
A 5-person plan. Oh, it's not even a family plan because it can be whoever you want it to be.
Yeah, true.
You and 5 pals.
And it rewards longevity, right? You get a discount every year you're on it.
Yes.
Yeah, up to 4 years. You get 26% off or something like that after 4 years.
They've really, the more you deep dive into it, which is what we're kind of doing right now, is they have a lot of incentives that are kind of just sort of like changing they feel that they're not right, or like maybe they're thinking that they're not competing with anyone, so they're like, we're just going to do what we think is right, and we're going to reward our riders, reward the community with discounts, and hey, if you stay with us longer, that's sort of like, what is that? That's like a loyalty plan, right? Loyalty program. And then we have pro teams. We've invested in sort of marketing and trying to do pro team stuff because they have Little Trek and they have Visma Lisa bike stuff because they had the Wild Van Aert ride. And so, and they have these challenges.
Had 8,000 people.
Yeah, 8,000
people. They've got good challenges. The challenges have good rewards. And I think the other part that's good about their challenges, trying not to necessarily use it as a comparison, but you really have to grind to get upgrades in Rouvy.
Yeah.
But that a lot of times the grind takes so long. Some of these challenges have rewards that either
They
accelerate the
yeah,
grind by having a
yeah,
big award of points, or the actual reward for the challenge is a bike or a set of wheels that would have taken you
yeah.
hundreds
Yeah.
of
Which
kilometers
The
to unlock.
most recent community challenge had 8 stages. I missed the first stage, but completed stages 2 through 8. So I didn't get the reward, but the final reward was the best wheels in the game that cost something like 100,000 coins, which was going to
no
take you
way. I didn't even
6-7 months.
I don't
see.
even have enough coins to unlock the cheapest set of wheels
Yeah.
in the game yet. And I'm not grinding Ruby by any means, but I've got some miles in there
Well,
now.
and what I like is there's no makeup. You miss stage 1,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Like, you're out. Like, there's not weeks and weeks of like, oh, we're so sorry you missed stage 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Please spend weeks to make them up. They're like, sorry.
You can kind of
You-
appreciate that too. That's sort of like,
Well, that's
Yeah.
the grind.
Yeah.
You missed it. You know,
Got
and
paid
that's sort of
attention.
to be honest, I have not. So
Brent-
RC Ivany is a friend of the show. He pointed out, hey, you got to sign up for the challenge. Because I was just doing the ride, like I did a ride and I didn't sign up for the challenge thing.
You have-
and he's
yeah.
like, dude, you're missing out on all these bonus points. Because he's also a Rouvy rider. And he's like, there's a lot of stuff that you're missing out. I'm like, what? And then I wasn't even collecting the rewards. Because sometimes I'm just, the big dumb animal trying to go, hey, I'll just do my ride. Right? Because I did, I think a Bike Terra ride. And then I actually did Zwift the last 2 days. I had free my free 25 kilometers, which I used to advantage yesterday. Just to see what's going on, right? Because we talked about it last week, and hey, am I going to get back into it or am I not? But the Rouvy stuff is they want you to game the system, it seems like. Like they're like, hey, do these challenges. We'll allow you to get the thing that you need to get from like a shortcut, but you have to do what we're asking you to do.
well, and the challenges as far as like you do routes that you normally probably wouldn't do or think of doing.
Right.
Because they're saying you need to do these 5 routes. But there's so many routes in Rouvy. It's not like, oh, I'm climbing up the reverse KOM again for the
Right.
9 millionth time. Like, I've ridden, 1,200 kilometers this year in Rouvy, something like that. And
Yeah.
I've ridden the same route twice.
Yeah, that you can.
Like,
I think I rode the backwards version of like the the Largo Lake or whatever. Because like the cool thing about when you finish a ride that you choose to do, you could keep pedaling. It'll just auto. It's like shuffle in like a music playlist. It'll be like, hey, you want to keep riding? Here's a thing you can choose, and they'll throw one in there for you. But the cool thing is like the searching for stuff. You're like, I searched for Yellowstone because I did the one. It was like it populated in the like the main screen of like routes. I was like, oh, there's this Yellowstone thing, and Yellowstone is. I'm fond of Yellowstone because I went there as a kid. I've been there twice, both once as a child and once as like a early teen or whatever. And so I have these old memories of being there as a kid, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this ride. I didn't know there was that many. There's so many that are good video quality.
yeah, I
Sort
rode
of-
to Old Faithful.
Yeah,
last week.
I haven't done the Old Faithful one, but there's ones where like, hey, it's flat, or there's one that's like, I'm like, I don't want to do a climb because there's really good climbs and stuff. So what I'm excited about is because either they sent an email or it was like in the game or something like that about the new HUD, the stuff that's supposed to be coming, right? Because the profile is messed up. Their profile is it's very misleading. It's very
Well, on a
misleading. You're
long
like, oh
route,
wow, that's like really. It's like not
there's
that much of a climb, and all of a sudden you're climbing for like 4
well, actually,
kilometers.
the
You
route
got to
that I
pay
did
attention
today,
to scale. Yeah.
Right.
Casey raced that route last week.
Yeah.
And there's a section where I think it hits like 20% grade, but on the
It's
overall
hard.
scale, it just looks like a little
Yeah.
bit of burgundy. And you're like, oh, look at that little burgundy. It's a wall. It goes straight up, and you're like, where did this come from? I'm in the wrong gear. My trainer is like grinding, like, oh no, 20%.
Yeah, I
I've
started
learned
this.
to pay a lot more attention to colors than the actual visual on that, right? If
Yeah,
there's even
it-
a hint of red, it's a noticeable climb. Like even if it's just got a tiny,
Yeah.
tiny bit of red, but man, if it's solid red, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's really gonna hurt. And then I started focusing on the actual moving profile, the sort of
Yep.
gradient profile, that moves really quickly. So you don't really
But
get it moves quickly, but you can get an idea of like, okay, there's a little bit more, and then it kind of it goes down. So when you get to like a top, you crest the little climb, it'll scroll down.
Self centers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
self
Well, I
centers,
do
and you're like,
find
oh,
the real life videos are, I don't know, maybe it's me, but I find it easier to tell if you're going up or downhill, or it's easier to look into the distance and go,
yeah.
this road's going to start going uphill pretty soon. I can see it. Where
The-
I don't know
yeah.
if it's the animated graphics of like Zwift and TPV. You're like, am I on a false flat? It says I'm doing 2%. This looks like it's going downhill. Like you can't see the little
Yeah.
bits of road. Where on Rouvy, it's very easy to see like, okay, I'm going to dip down here because the road disappears.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to go downhill for a couple hundred meters and it's going to kick up again and go off to the right. And you can see that.
And it does a really good job of that. I don't know if we haven't talked about it on here, but like a week or two ago, what I found is a few years ago, someone local uploaded it's a common course that my triathlon group, it's like our training route.
Hmm.
It starts 8 miles away from me. It's a 20-ish mile course. And we actually one year did like a little fun TT challenge on it. So I made a KOM on it that is that route. And I have the real KOM on that loop in real life on Strava. So I'm like, I'm gonna go do this because I think we looked it up on Strava. I had ridden this route 30 plus times, right?
Right.
Like I know every bump in the road. I know the entire thing. And I wrote it on Rouvy. And I was like, this is kind of amazingly good. My my only critique was, and I think this is just a syncing and a quality thing, and I don't think it's this way on some of their higher end videos. The what you feel and what you see were out of sync by like 20 meters, right? Like, but
Yeah.
it was consistent all the way through the ride, like the hill. So I could tell that, especially knowing the road really well, it was just slightly out of sync what you saw versus what you felt. But I think that was, and that ride had been on Rouvy like since 2021. Like it's been out there a while. So
Oh, so
yeah,
Lee was telling me that he signed up for the the ride
The
creation
Rouvy
beta,
Root Creator Beta.
and it might be before because you said they have really strict, or not strict, but
Yeah, pretty
very
much
clear ways to
Yes.
to capture now, and the technology is better. So if it's an older course, you might
yeah, it
be
was
able to
way
have,
before that stuff.
yeah, so you could have a better experience. The cool thing about the Rouvy stuff with the video and looking up the road is I'm starting to see, especially doing the Zwift yesterday, things they look like a false flat, and then you look at the gradient, it's like 0,
Mhm.
and I'm like, it's like it doesn't sort of match.
I think it has to do like
Visually-
in a video game, you need a lot more shading and shadows to be able to perceive, undulations in the road. But the video, like on Rouvy, because you have sun shining, it's
Oh yeah,
it's realistic.
yeah,
Like your eyes are just used to or more accustomed to seeing shadows and telling whether the road. I mean, and when you see a road go off into the distance, you can be like, yeah, that goes uphill. Where a lot of Zwift routes, the roads don't go off into the distance. They're always turns. Like the road turns right, it goes left, it goes
Yeah.
up, goes down. You don't see into the distance going, okay, I see that we're going to be climbing a mountain in probably about 2K. Like
Yeah.
that's where we're heading.
Yeah, it's a depth of vision kind of thing, and
Yeah.
it just the horizon and everything. It feels so different. But yeah, Ruvy's really good about that. They're doing a lot of things well, and kind of the reason I think we kind of started here is with Brian and Lee talking about this when we were starting. I was just kind of listening to them talk about like Ruvy doesn't seem to be chasing Zwift or trying to keep up, and it like clicked, and I was like, do they care? Because they're bigger
Rouvy.
than we
I
all
think
thought they right.
yeah,
Does
not
Rouvy
us,
care?
not Lee and I, but
Yeah,
does
yeah,
Rouvy
yeah.
care?
right. Does Rouvy care? Because you stop and think about it, I think we've all been surprised by the number of people in Rouvy. Like,
Yeah,
there's always more than I expected. And is Rouvy already to a point where they've reached an equilibrium where they're self-sustaining enough that they're not chasing what somebody else is doing? they're going to keep doing what they're doing because it's working and
Yeah.
they've got the following. And
Now think of this too. Yeah, you bring up a great point. But now this is maybe not an acquisition, but they're like one of the first in this world, this space,
been here a while,
to acquire Full Gas. Now maybe that might have been Iron Man coming to them and saying, "Hey, we don't want to do Full Gas. Do you want to buy it, or do you want to do whatever?" And so it's like, "Hey, yeah, we would like to fold this into what we're doing." That is not happening with a lot of other, like Zwift isn't doing that.
They kept Full Gas running.
Yeah.
They were going to shutter it. And then they said all the Full Gas people were so upset. Rouvy came out and made a statement saying, if we can keep 80% of the subscriber base in Full Gas, and Full Gas can pay for itself, we'll keep Full Gas open.
Oh, you know what? Training Peaks and the merge between Training Peaks and Indy Velo. That was another one. I don't know if that happened before or after, but that's another one that was sort of a big play in the space. Oh no, even Wahoo with RGT, Wahoo acquiring RGT, but then they shuttered it,
screwed it all up.
So yeah, now this could be successful and go, hey, we're gonna do Full Gas. If they have the, hey, you keep the subscribers going, we'll support Full Gas, but as soon as it dips out, we're gonna go out.
I think the Full Gas thing happened after, because Iron Man pulled the plug from Full Gas, and everyone was like, holy crap. Yeah. And then it was like weeks later where Rouvy was like, no, we're buying Full Gas.
Yeah, this felt to me like, and we may never know what those conversations were, but this felt to me more like Full Gas was being supported by Iron Man through that sponsorship or that whatever, that teaming up that they were doing. And when Iron Man went to Rouvy, it was just like, hey, Full Gas basically is not going to stand on its own. If you want it, you can take it as part of this deal, kind of thing.
Right.
That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't Rouvy out there saying, "Oh, I'm going to acquire Full Gas." And
No. I think it was. Yeah.
Just
it kind of. It was like a garage sale. It was like, hey,
they hitched the Full Gas wagon to the
like,
Iron Man
for sale, and Ruby's like, okay, yeah, sure. And they've integrated it pretty well. I mean, there's a lot of Iron Man stuff, and probably more Iron Man stuff is going to be created.
I think how they handled the outreach from the Full Gas community, I think they might have gained a lot of Rouvy fans, right? From the people on Full Gas that were originally like, oh crap, I got to change what I'm doing. I liked what I'm doing. This stinks. And Ruby's like, hey, if you guys want to keep it, I'll let you keep it. Like, just
Full Gas had a lot of 4K videos. Full Gas was actually like another tier quality.
Oh, right. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. They had,
because I've ridden a couple routes that have been ported and then basically upscaled or downscaled to Rouvy's 2.7, 2K, whatever they're using. And the Full Gas routes look pretty awesome. Oh, they're pretty impressive.
It's easier to go down than up. Like when you have 4K going down to 2K, it's like the quality, the pixels are there, so you can just, squeeze it in more. But go ahead, Casey, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so you want to keep going down that path. I was going to say, to me, like this, like stair steps us into kind of where we started about the fun. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to.
There's Rouvy people having fun. There's Full Gas people having fun. There's Zwift people having fun. People are having fun on their bikes in different ways, and different applications are providing that to them.
Yeah. So what's fun right now for you guys?
Oh.
Well, and that's the thing is it's a very interesting topic because everyone looks to these apps for a different thing. And I was a racer. I mean, I did a lot of training. I did many years of ZRL. I've done probably 100 TTTs. And I was using the programs as my winter training base for outdoor crits and TTs. Mm-hmm. And I think over time, things have shifted. Like, I kind of had that moment in Zwift where I was like, this isn't fun. I'm not having fun. Like, I was sort of lying to myself, like, oh, there's so many people in Zwift. It's super cool that there's all these people. And it was just after they came out with the grade, and I was trying to complete all the new grade routes. And I got about half of the grade routes done. And I thought, this is the same freaking route over and over and over again. Like, if I have to climb this damn Aztec Mayan hill one more time, I'm going to lose it because every single route went up that hill. And I went, I'm lying to myself. I'm don't ac- not actually having fun. Like I was trying to complete
Yeah.
the routes as part of achievements, you know, to push myself. And then I was like, nope. And then I went on Rouvy and went, because most of my riding nowadays is I'm more interested in exploring. I'm more interested in doing longer events and to ride along a lake in Italy that looks spectacular. That is way more up my alley right now
That's your
than
fun. That's your
that is
fun.
totally my fun.
So my fun, Casey, I'm going to jump in
No,
and do
go
my
for it. Go
fun.
for it.
My fun is like, actually, I'm the Zwift people on Zwift, like as much as everyone knows that I'm like frustrated. I'm on the blacklist. The people on Zwift are fun. That's the fun. The thing that makes it not fun is Zwift. Like I was doing the ride, whatever this last thing that I did yesterday, which was a race. I jumped in. No, it was a race. It was a group ride because I got the coffee stop and all the other stuff.
Thing.
Paris-Roubaix thing, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going downhill, and I'm like, why am I slowing down? But the riding with people and being in like humans, other humans, that's the fun for me. Because I did a group ride outside, and I hadn't done the group ride since last year or last time change. So when the time change is here, the group ride starts up again every Wednesday. And I'd missed the last couple of weeks because of work and everything like that. And I went out and I'm like, you know what, this is fun. The guy came out, he's like, hey, he texted me, hey, I didn't make it that last week, but then I came out and I was riding with people I hadn't seen in like a year. And I'm like, this is fun. I know how to not ride with people and train and do all that stuff, but there is a point where the thing that I like to do is fun. Is what do I want to do? And I'm the complete opposite of Lee. I like exploring, but I'm okay with a routine over and over and over again. Once I get a comfortable routine, that's comfortable for me. I'll go out of my way to find other things like the Yellowstone and all that stuff. But I think the keeping true to having fun, so whatever that is for people, that's what you should enjoy. And yesterday was Zwift. 3 days ago was what Wednesday was riding outside, and then one day was Rouvy. And if you can find what's fun instead of just making it, a task, or I have to do this workout. If you like doing
it's
that,
motivation.
It's motivation for sure.
Yeah, I can relate to both of those things, and I kind of, when Lee was talking, I kind of come up with like two analogies, right? Like Swift is turning into the Hallmark movie of the applications for me now, right? Because the
It's the
my
formula.
first
Yeah.
my first experiences on Zwift were fun, and I have all this nostalgia with Zwift because I've had so much fun on Zwift before, but ev- everything that I experience on Zwift now, I have been experiencing for the last 10 years. Just like I've seen, if you've seen 3 Hallmark movies, you've seen all 400 Hallmark movies, right? Like uh, the names in the writer list change, the names in the credits change, but it's the same. So it gets stale, right? So for me, the fun right now is variety. So it's not that Zwift isn't fun, but Zwift for every ride is not fun for me. If I step away from it and I come back to it, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that was fun. I
Yeah.
hadn't done that in a while,
Oh,
right?
Canada versus the world.
Yeah.
Those were awesome.
Yes, Lee, you were doing that. I remember
did
you were
those
talking about
3
that.
races and they were super fun.
Yeah,
The
you were
moment that
posting Zwift Power results. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm in third place still.
Well, and the
And I'm
moment
like, this is
those
the guy that never rides on Zwift.
yeah, and then the moment that series was over, I was like, "Yep, I'm done."
Yeah.
Right, and I
Back
would
to
have
Ruby.
never, like, without an application, I would have never thought to myself, I'm gonna go do a 22-minute time trial. Like that used to be my thing, but that's not what I desire to do. But all of a sudden, like on Rouvy, I found this route that was my
Yeah.
local route that I knew, and I went and did that because I was like, I've got the Strava.com. I am taking the top spot on Rouvy on this route, and god
Did you?
dang it, I did it. I did it
Yeah.
by 3 minutes.
Oh,
Like
That's
wow.
pretty good.
so I was like, I went and took it, and that's probably the biggest effort I've done on the bike in 6 months. It was 56 minutes or something like that of essentially a time trial that I did on Rouvy
Yeah.
on a local, so to me that's what fun is on the bike now, and I've been finding my fun more the last couple of weeks. I had a little health stuff that I was like, I got to get motivated, and I've kind of found a new motivation. But hitting, I was just saying yesterday, and I said it to Lee before here, the coffee stop adds fun for me. I'm struggling a little bit with endurance on the bike. And what the coffee stop is for me right now is 2 hours of a Paris-Roubaix long route on Zwift is too much for me right now. If I'm trying to hold on to that front group for the full 2 hours, you
Yeah.
never stop pedaling, you can't coast, right? Like all these complaints about Zwift. I'm like, the coffee stop is that on the outdoor ride, that's the stop sign. Everybody grabs a gel kind of thing. Nobody else is doing that, but I can hit the coffee stop. I can take a 3-minute break. Without 3 coffee stops, I'm not staying in that front group for an
Right.
hour and 45 minutes on Zwift right now because, quite frankly, I just get tired of it.
I used
Right?
it,
But
I used it last night on the climb, and I had to go to the
yeah,
bathroom. I was like, I'm going to use this to go to the bathroom.
yeah, I used it every chance I got. The first 2 were for a rest. The third one was I needed water. I
How
needed to
fast
refill my bottles.
how fast do they come back?
Every 30 minutes, you earn one.
You get a 30-second or a minute?
No,
It's
3
like
minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes every
Every
30.
30 minutes you get 3 minutes?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a
that's
good
why
break.
okay, so I was in a race, or not race. I was in a group ride
You're a group ride race.
that I got a free hat that I didn't really care for, but whatever. Fez was like, hey, you're jumping. I late joined to this thing because it was only available, and I was in my free account, so I just needed to use it. Now, I saw people like using the coffee stop on a flat, and it was like I was with a group of 5. We were behind the lead group, whatever. And I'm like, why are they using it right now? Like, because I have no idea how to use this thing. I haven't been in this game for 3 months or 2 months, whatever it is. I'm like, why are they using it now? And I'm like trying to go, maybe they're using it now because at the end they'll get, so
You
use
get a
it
second
now.
one.
I didn't use it because I thought it wasn't going to
Yeah.
come back in time for the climb. And I'm like, oh, wow. So every 30 minutes you get 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
It's
Yeah, so I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you could actually structure like a sweet spot workout out of this, right? You do 30 minutes of
Mm.
tempo sweet spot, 3-minute break, 30-minute, like you could
Yeah.
work through some of these group rides like that. So I was actually commenting yesterday on my stream that like kudos to Zwift, this Paris-Roubaix one in particular, right? It has 2 of the 3 options are going to put you in the saddle for 90 minutes
Yeah.
or close to that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a 30, 34, 33 mile option and a 46 mile option for the A and B.
What is that in
We
kilometers?
actually have an event
Lee,
that's going to
can you give me the math for that?
The math. For
This is an
kilometers.
international show, Casey. International show.
all right.
No,
all
I'm
right.
just saying because I did the
Yeah.
second version, which I think is like 50 kilometers, which
And
I
the
think you're
other
talking
one's
about.
gonna
And then
be
the
pushing
A
70.
is 77 kilometers. So
Yeah.
are you talking about the long? Are you doing the long route?
I did both. I did
did
both
both,
the last
okay,
2
okay.
days. But
So
like,
the 30-minute coffee stop, the timer for the next coffee stop doesn't start until you've used your coffee stop. So you want to actually use it
Bank it 3 minutes up.
as
yeah,
soon as
the
you get it,
33 minutes. Yeah.
use it. So you could start the timer for the next 30 minutes if
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
planning like
Oh
multiple
no,
coffee
it's
stops.
a good strategy. I was just like, I don't want to mess up and not use it because I didn't even know if I was going to use it, and then I was barely sticking around in the little group that we were doing. And then I'm like, I don't want to do this climb because I actually enjoyed the cobbles stuff. I was doing the sprints and the little
Yeah.
like the paver
messing
thing,
around.
the
Yeah.
smooth paver thing. And I think I got 1 sprint or a second place. And I was like, oh, this is like an interval for me. So for me, I have done workouts, but I do, like I said, the fun for me is racing with people.
Yeah.
I've raced
Yeah.
bots, but racing with people is more fun to me.
I had fun because I strategized the climb. Like I was talking to chat before we got there, and I'm like, all right, guys, you got to give me climb times. What's the calm time going to be on the climb? We were
It's like
strategizing
7 minutes,
the coffee,
right?
right? So like one of the guys that I ride with quite a bit on Team Time Trial, he came in and he's like, my best up the climb is like 5.5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I've got to do it at least a 2-minute effort before I drop the coffee, right? So we had all this math, and I kind of joked going into it, and then I forgot while we were on the climb, but we were doing this math, and I kind of laughed, and I'm like, it'd be funny if I could take the KOM jersey while doing
Well,
a
the
coffee
coffee.
stop.
Fantastic.
So I did about 2 minutes of the climb. There was a guy on the front that seemed to be trying to break our group of about 10 people. And I like sprinted up to him and dropped the coffee stop. And he immediately dropped his power from like 6 watts per kilo to like 4.5. He's like, screw you. I am not pulling you. But we went all the way up. It was the last switchback, like 30 seconds of the climb was left when it went away.
Oh,
So I did the last climb with him. I didn't attack it. I just rode up the hill with him, but I missed the comm by 4/10 of a second. And I'm like, dang it, I should have
Oh,
attacked that. Like if I would have taken the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
comm, like that would have been like the icing
Well,
on the
and then it's
cake.
funny because, this is funny now. And this is what
Mhm.
is fun for you, but it makes so many people mad.
That's fun.
Oh, it's I mean, I
And
was
it's
calling
actually
it like
fun now that it makes.
it's the coffee comments, right? Like that was actually my stream title was like the coffee. We're gonna have
Yeah,
a coffee chat, right? It's how many comments can we generate with
yeah.
coffee stops?
There's no
But
rules. There's
it,
no
it
rules.
it was kudos to Zwift because I've been so frustrated with not finding longer rides. Everything you find is 30 to 40 minutes. Like I'm like, this is actually an event that's going off every hour that you can ride for hour 15 to almost 2 hours, right? Like Zwift needs more of these, right?
Yeah.
Longer events. It's not a race. Like I've stayed in the front group of all of these, but it's taken almost everything I've got at a B power to stay in the
It's
front of these groups.
it's a completely different strategy when you get over the hour 15 mark.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people were dropping. I mean, we just have the disappearing act, right? Like people join them, they ride for an hour, hour 15, and they're like, I'm out later.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, where'd all these people go? We didn't drop them. They were just like, I think they just end, end group or whatever, and they're
Yeah,
out.
for me, it's like this is like the first time in a while where I've ridden every day for the week, and I'm hopefully
Awesome.
I'm gonna get on the ride. After this, I'll do a ride. But like, yeah, at that hour mark, I was like, man, because I've been doing just with work and life and stuff. I'm like, I only got an hour. I got an hour. That's about it. Now I did that one that went longer, and being able to gauge like, what's my fitness? What's the thing? Where can I recover? Because I used the coffee on going up the climb, and then I had to finish like the last like 3 minutes going hard, and I was with somebody that was going hard, so I was trying to stay with that person, and then going down the hill, which I talked about at the beginning. That's where I'm like, hey, how can I recover? And it wasn't allowing me to do it. That's where I was like, man, this is not. I don't
Trying
like
to
this.
coast down the hill.
Trying
You
to
were
coast down the hill.
losing
Blah blah
speed.
blah.
Yeah.
But even with like stuff like RGT, there you go, market everybody. Figuring out what to do with even the bots, but like the draft, that was fun for me. I always enjoyed noodling around in RGT to figure it out. Now I like doing that now. That like my figuring it out and sort of working to try to make it better is like Bike Terra. That's fun for me. So I'll do when I'm not like, hey, I want to do a route or a Rouvy thing, because Rouvy's physics. I really like Rouvy's physics, but trying to get into Bike Terra and go, hey, I'll ride with somebody and get on their back wheel. Now there's a race on Tuesdays that I'm doing, like Felty and guys I raced with on RGT are doing it, and it's like 10:30 Pacific. So if anyone's looking for a Bike Terra race, there's probably like 10 people that are doing it. But Walter Claus, who's the guy who used to race, he puts on a thing, and I wasn't paying attention and I got dropped, but I was like riding with a couple people and we were rotating, and I was like, hey, do a pull for 30 seconds. And I was doing that yesterday on Zwift. So that's also the fun thing, which is part of the RGT, which is like, I liked rotating and figuring out what to do. Like I remember polling at the beginning yesterday, polling the little group of 4 for this one person that's off the front for no reason. I was like, I'm not going to snap it and bridge it. Like really working how to get people in your slipstream to sort of reduce that gap. That's the fun part for me. Those little things are fun.
That takes me back to like 10 days ago. This was fun for me, and I wish we had more opportunities to do it. Swift completely shuffled everything aerodynamically on all these bikes, right? They did all this change, and there hadn't been enough time for all the science to be posted on all of it, right? We didn't know. And I spent an entire erg session on a Wednesday night for 90 minutes, almost 2 hours, riding different bikes through the jungle in erg mode to figure out what was the right bike to use on a team time trial the next night. What was going to be the fastest? Like, I wish we had more opportunities to discover, right?
Yeah.
Things like that, to figure those kind of things out, because I got on that bike to do a recovery spin through the jungle, and guys in chat were like, "Well, what about this bike? Well, what about that?" And finally, after like doing 3 full tests, I was like, "Guys, I physically can't perform this test again." Right? Like I was doing it like
Hmm.
zone 2 and tempo, and I'm like, I can't test any more
Now,
bikes. It's got to be one of these 3.
were you doing the jungle because of the resistance,
I was in
or?
the jungle because that was the course that our team time trial was on the
Oh,
following
okay,
night,
okay.
right?
So
And
you were doing a
it was
recon
this
slash,
debate
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
is the time trial bike faster than the gravel bike on the dirt? Because they kind of they brought those specs a little closer together, and then we didn't know how much any of that changed with the changes they
Right.
made just in the last 2 weeks. We only had specs from Swift Insider on the road bike at that point. So we weren't really sure. So all the old tests said that the gravel bike and the mountain bike would be within like a half a second on that route.
Hmm.
And I tested them. We were almost a minute apart on a loop.
Now, is there clarity on? There is a difference now. Whether Zwift, I know we're getting into
Mhm.
the reckless speculation here. Does Zwift purposely not tell you which surfaces are which, and then Zwift Insider or some third party science Aunt Bev has to figure it out to go, hey, this is what it is, and I have the answer. Like, I have the answer. It's, or because I remember
No.
they said that they reduced the dirt, but they didn't
Yes.
make it the same as the asphalt. I'm curious about the cobbles. The cobbles are higher resistance. Is that written? Is that so?
Yeah. So generally, the cobbles are a higher resistance than the road, but it's pretty small.
Okay.
Like the steamroller on these Paris Roubaix group rides isn't doing very much. Like if you I was watching somebody ride around those courses the other day, so I was trying to consciously pay attention to their speed and how it changed when they went
Yeah.
from pavement to cobbles, and they're riding pretty steady. And it was hard to distinguishably see a change in kilometers per hour when they would switch from one surface to the other. Like when you do the dirt, you can see the speed reduce. You can see the speed increase when you leave the dirt. There's a decent change there. That the cobbles doesn't seem, and then there's always this debate about there are places in the Zwift world that it seems to be that the cobbles are purely visual, where there's other
Right.
places where the cobbles have a different resistance. So I'm not sure Zwift is consistent
But they
about
haven't
where
said
cobbles are
anything.
cobbles. Yeah, you don't, right? You don't really know.
I think my only complaint about that is because it's a virtual world and they control the world. Instead of being like, hey, because Paris-Roubaix, or Paris-Roubaix, however people want to say it, happened today. The men's happened and the women's happened on Saturday. The real life one. And they do a lot of recon. They do a lot of air pressure test. They do a lot of testing, and that's their job. They're professional cyclists. They do all the testing. Where you can go, hey, this road's smoother than the cobbles. Like you can make that distinction. Where this is just programming. Like we can't really test it and get the pure feedback to go, hey, this is this. That's why we kind of have to have them tell us officially, so that we can go, hey, we understand that it's different, but we just want to make sure that it's different. Like there's bridges on that French course that don't have a sprint, right? Because I rode the course yesterday and it had, I think like 3 segments, 3 cobbled segments, and they're in the little mini map. Now I love the little, I want a bigger mini map, profile mini map. Sorry, not the main mini map. And those have the little sprint. Like it's kind of cool seeing the sectors, so the cobbled sectors, and then your KOM, QOM, and then also like the regular sprints. Those are like things that, talking about fun, those are things that I look at, and that helps me have fun. Is to go, hey, this is something I can plan for, or I have to suffer to get through this section, or here I need to go. Yeah. Those little things, like those little indicators, the little mini map, those things that make it fun, regardless of whether the physics are there or not, is I just want to have definitive, yes, they're different. Not, they're different by this much. And then let us go, okay, I did this bike on this cobbled sector, and it's this. And we then do the science, or we do the testing, but just go, yes, we confirm that this section, this bridge that looks like rocks or whatever it is, or whatever, is different. And now it's, you guys figure it out, but it's different.
Yeah, I'd like it to be a little more like IRL, where it's I have to work out what tire pressure works right for me.
Yeah. Like you ride a gravel route and you're doing your own tire pressure.
Right. I wish it changed enough in Zwift where it'd be like, you can't just punch it into some website and say, this is the best bike, right? Because it's like, to me, part of the fun is that discovery.
But it is nice having people be able to do, like, because Silka, I like Silka, and the guy, Josh Portner, he's like, hey, here's and he has a website for people. It's like a resource for people. I like that, but there's also a part of like, hey, I want to figure it out for myself. Yeah. I like the balance of both. I'm with you.
Yeah. Now, so I'll go back to what's not fun to help decide.
Are we ruining the? Okay, now we have 15 minutes to ruin this whole 45 minutes of fun. Let's go. Fun police.
We're talking about what is fun.
I love a fun police segment. Let's do it.
The fun sponge, right? We need the tool to work as it's supposed to work, right?
Oh yeah.
It's and that's a tool thing, right? But that's what steals the fun, is things aren't working as they're supposed to. So I'm with you, Brian. I love the profile map. I love the little banners on the profile map. Maybe the B route didn't show it, but on the A route, the longer route that I did yesterday, about half of the banners aren't actually flagged on the profile. So that was taking some distraction and frustration to me, because I was looking at that of, should I use my power up now? Should I save it? How long do I have until I get the next banner? And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, there's a banner coming up and it's not marked on the mini map. And I started paying attention, and it was almost like half of the sprint points weren't marked on the profile.
Right.
I'm like, well, that's just laziness.
Yeah.
So that was taking fun away.
No, but I'm with you on this. So here's my little non-fun thing. I turned off the little profile thing that drops down.
Oh,
because unless they fixed it, that it's there for the entire thing, and it doesn't, what's that place called? Jarvis Land. The sort of like, in the middle of the segment, it disappears. I'd rather have it off and not show me.
Yeah. The climb's not over. Yes, it gets flat for 100 meters, but the climb's not over. Keep it up there.
Keep it up there. Because there's a lot, like the whole flat, whatever. We went into that world. But the not fun stuff, speaking of fun, as my dog is here, the things that are not fun are those little things, those little, like, you're nitpicking things. Like, hey, fine-tune this, fine-tune that. That's why I love the profile thing, and I'm glad it's on France now.
What is not fun, in honor of Brian White joining?
Oh yeah, he's off the boat.
What is not fun is getting up at 3:00 in the morning to win big money.
Oh yeah, here we go.
And the game just crashes for everybody.
Right, my whoosh segment. Let's go.
There's some crashing.
Okay, welcome Brian White. He's off the boat. Casey's great segue. I love it. You got to give us the update of the My Whoosh Sunday Race Club, April 13th, 2025.
So this week I had to work. So fortunately, I didn't get up and get prepped to start riding. The race starts at about 5:40 a.m. for me, which is about the time I leave for work. So as I started driving, I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it, like, the entire 40 minutes of me driving was nonstop, bing, 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 as I'm driving from between the Cat 4 and Cat 5 chat. And
just for people that have no idea what you're talking about, because we know what you're talking about.
Yes.
You are getting notifications from Discord or from
the Facebook.
From the Facebook, whatever chat that you're on, you're getting pinged every single time for 40 minutes, like every second or so, because people are complaining about.
Well, I got kicked out, I got dropped. Do I keep riding? What's happening? Are we restarting? This happened before, blah. Just like between Cat 4 and Cat 5 within the level teams, it's pure chaos. So ultimately, I think it was 12 in Cat 4 and 10 in Cat 5 made it to the finish. And there was like 22 in Cat maybe between the other cats, there was like anywhere from 6 to 15 riders that maybe finished, and they ultimately just annulled the day. Basically said,
So were like 50% of the riders
annulled. So is that a part of the drinking game? The
annulled
the entire race, essentially, not people.
So what they say, they gave, because you have to race so many weeks to be qualified for the final each month. So anyone who started the race gets credit for racing as if they raced a week.
But the results were annulled.
But no money, no results.
Yeah, and that's just for the men's. The women's went off without a hitch.
Yeah, women's
so Holly won the sprint jersey, and that's the only person I know how they did from the women's. But
I think Randy did what I fell asleep. Probably watching Magic the Gathering. And I woke up and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning and Randy's racing. And so she won, I think she won like 3 sprints or something like that. So the women are like they're just racing the course. This is a fun thing, is to watch people not pigeonhole themselves. I think some people are saying, oh, I'm a climber, or I'm this. And they're like, hey, I'm just going to go hard and see what happens. And they're winning. So it's like, oh yeah, here's the important update regarding SRC, which is Sunday Race Club qualifier round 2. I'll read it for the people that are not seeing it on screen. Dear rider, we acknowledge that some riders experienced technical issues during today's SRC event. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience caused and want you to know that identifying the root cause is our top priority and is being thoroughly investigated. Due to these circumstances, Race Control has made the following decisions. Number 1, the race will not be restarted. Number 2, all riders who started today's men's race will have today marked as qualifier for the finals. And number 3, all results from today's men's event will be declared null and void, meaning no official results will be recorded or published. And so, to recognize the disruption experienced, next week's SRC will feature double prize money for all men's categories. So
double prize money.
Regards, blah, blah, blah. Regards, My Whoosh Race Control. So they were very prompt in saying, hey, it's on us. We're going to resolve it as fast as possible. Top priority. So this is good. This is good messaging instead of sort of like, we don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So
let's just say that I had to work next weekend. I couldn't, today, this was my week to race. That kind of stinks because you were eliminated. I know a couple others that placed in the money that was taken away from them, but it is good because the technical issues, it's out of the race. It could have altered the place.
You could have not been placed in money if you would have been, let's say somebody raced.
And this was game wide. This just wasn't like on the SRC servers. This was completely across free riding, everything.
So do you have an idea of not what it was, but like what was the experience like for let's say a rider? Like what was their experience like dealing with this?
From everything I read was the game just crashed, and when they went to go back in, there was no events. Like you couldn't access the servers to ride because there's the free ride server and then there's the event server. Okay. And both access points were down. So it was.
So the application crashed across all platforms? Like if you're racing on an iOS device?
That's the thing, because some people were able to finish. Like there was 10 or 12 or whatnot in different, Cat 4 and Cat 5. I think 6 and Cat 6. And I don't know about the rest. But so some people were able to. Now I don't know if it was device dependent. I believe Wild Peter, he was one of the ones that finished. I think he was first maybe in Cat 4, but he was in the finished results. So we could ask him what he was using. Whenever we see him.
I've been in an RGT race where I completely crashed. I think I've seen people. I think Casey was watching it one time, and I crashed, and it was like it froze, and then I was like with the lead group, or I was chasing back on a climb, and all of a sudden I came back in, and I'm like, oh, I guess I got a flat tire, and you were like, oh, that's a good way to take it. That was very instead of being like super flamed out, and I'm just like, it's sometimes they like. RGT was very rock solid for me. I never had an issue here. It would be periodically here and there, but it was not like consistently, oh, I know this is going to crash or this is going to have an issue. So it's like I treat all crashes like I get a flat or something happens.
We're getting lots of reports in chat that it sounds like for most people, it was like their screen froze. Maybe it froze a few times, and then all of a sudden it just app puked, and it was that was it. So
Yeah, and I know I missed most of the show, but that's the
Yeah, you
fun
did.
side.
Yeah, it was about 45 minutes.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
we need to
yeah.
hear about Brian's fun.
Yeah, let's get the fun in.
what's your fun, Brian?
Okay, so what I thoroughly enjoy is just free riding, all right? Like, obviously just roaming around, taking turns, whatever. And within that, over the past, say, month, I've seen a few people I know on my Whoosh, like streaming. And if we're in the same world, I enjoy riding to that person. And I think that's within Zwift, the same thing, is why Zwift is such a annoying platform for various reasons. But it's also fun because there's, like, you see an orange dot in the map or something, or you see someone streaming, I want to go ride to that person. Those are what's fun to me. That exploring and trying to find someone. The racing, I like the racing aspect. I love the ladder racing because you can, the team aspect. But just lining up and racing, I've shifted from enjoying that over the past probably 6 months now to actually not enjoying racing because I've shifted my focus to improving fitness wise and, the power goals and whatnot. So doing the workouts as where my focus is, in the racing, they're too sporadic to truly
But
work.
what's fun? You're saying riding, free riding, because I know you've said this before. You like free riding everywhere, anywhere. You do not want to go around in a loop. You like riding. You like riding around the area that they've given you or whoever's given you, by yourself or with people. That's fun to you. All the other stuff is like we all know. Like, I don't like suffering as much as I used to. Like I have other drives now. But what's fun is the people. Riding with people is fun.
I'll just talk like it was Zwift because, like, Watopia is my favorite indoor world. My Whoosh world is a close second in California, and my Whoosh is third. The hilly loop, the KOM reverse and forward and reverse, I enjoy fun working in my workout, doing a loop around that, and getting the KOM jersey for that. And then just riding around, making a loop. And then if I see anyone in the mini map off in the distance or something, trying to locate them.
Not teleport to them. You like riding to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's always so annoying when I catch someone and they end their ride. That's so annoying.
Well, that was how it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
You couldn't find your buddy. You had to go talk on Discord and say, I'm here and I'm over here. Let's try to ride to meet each other.
I'm going to go reverse, a U-turn. Where you at? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my enjoyment, is the free riding. And then, like, with my Whoosh right now, I'm really, like, I've learned California, all the roads where they go. In my Whoosh world, I'm like 75% of the way knowing which turns go where. And I enjoy that because it's like, if I want to go to the little magic mushroom world or over to the, the Naboo world.
So let's say you just want to have some fun. Like, what's the thing you would like? Hey, I'm going to have some fun today. What are you going to do?
I'll get on Watopia and try to get the KOM for the hilly KOM in both directions.
That's fun.
And then just ride around like with that at basically zone 2. Like, literally, like, once I get the kits in both directions, like, a fun ride for me is getting the hilly KOM forward, reverse, and just riding around.
Okay. There we go. Anything else?
Sounds
is there
fun.
any new releases or anything like that we need to touch on?
My Whoosh, the Reckless Speculation is my Whoosh Championship is coming back in 2023. It was like $1 million prize. This was a week-long series, kind of like FRR or whatever it was called with Zwift, like the Chasing Tour. It's 7 days, team and individual every day, and then GC at the end. That's the big Reckless Speculation because they posted something that said the big one's back. So I initially thought it was a person. And then after talking with some people,
The big one? That's not very nice.
Can you pronounce their name if you know who they are?
So
no, he can't.
I don't know who they are, but because the other ones, they were like, they did a person zipping up her kit and then plugging their trainer in, like Peter Sagan. So like he was signing. So initially that's what I thought. And this is the big one is back. So the only thing like big I could think of would be someone like Lance Armstrong or someone, you know what I mean? Whatever, that was ousted. But then I started talking to some people and they were like, it's going to be a race series. And then that
It's a month
developed
from
into
now, right? Didn't they tease a date? May
they're
12th?
releasing the details. So they're kind of like, one guy said it's going to be the World Championship qualifiers. Like, well, that's not coming back. We already know they have 2 more years of that. So then they led to the My Whoosh Championship.
This is the most reckless speculation.
Yeah,
and you are
completely.
This is so reckless because you're talking about a person, a big one.
That's what they said.
I love it.
That's what they said.
Who's they?
My Whoosh.
Is that the big one? Oh, My Whoosh. Okay,
My Whoosh
gotcha.
posted a
All right.
teaser, had a dude zip another kit, plugging a trainer, and said the big one's back. More details May 12th.
All right.
So
Interesting.
taking a conversation from Discord people and then the Facebook chat people and then meshing that together, reckless speculation.
There you go. Fantastic. Now,
I have some reckless speculation.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the new UI for Rouvy is going to be sooner rather than later.
Yay.
I just noticed on most of their website pictures, their screenshots are showing the new.
Oh, good. I'm excited for that. That's the one thing when we talked to Brian, you missed the Rouvy. I think we did like 40 minutes or 25, whatever it was. Doesn't matter. The Rouvy thing that they need to do, along with the profile fix, is a mini map on the screen.
Yep.
Because that's the one thing on Rouvy I miss or I would like the most is the mini map. Because you're like, where's the turns and what am I looking for?
Yes.
Like, is it an S turn? Is it all the other things?
I've thought that they need to put a fake arrow
something
which before the turn, because you're riding along, the road goes straight, and all of a sudden you're cutting right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't really matter because the game turns you, but I would like to preemptively know that I'm going to be turning right in 200 meters.
Yeah.
And if they do a mini map, they need to figure out how to mark the mini map if the corner has a break potential coming up. Because then you can strategize of I'm going to attack going into the corner, get the break, and attack coming out of it. So anyway, digging in.
Got anything?
I want to jump in and wrap up the fun thing just once, because this is something I've talked about for a long time. And one of the, if not everybody knows my story into cycling, like I came from no fitness, no health in 15
you were
years.
A smoker
and kind
too.
of, yeah, smoker, all that. And people would come to me that knew me through that whole thing and would be like, how can I do what you're doing? Right? Tell me what I need. What do I need to buy? I want to do what you're doing, because they were seeing that transformation in me physically, right? Was physically more fit. I was a better human, like it mentally, everything. And I would stop people and I'd be like, don't do what I'm doing because it works for me, because I'm passionate about it and I'm having fun doing it. You may not enjoy what I'm doing. You may not enjoy the tools that I'm doing. You may not enjoy the type of athletics that I'm into. Find what is fun for you that will keep you moving. And that was, so I just wanted to kind of share that, like, understand is we're all sharing different things that are fun for each one of us. We have all these different tools that we use that offer different things to do. We're all cycling related here. That's what this podcast is about. But that's the reality of it is, right? You have to find what's fun for you. And I will tell you from being on the top of the mountain in the elites to where I am now, don't lose the fun. When you lose the fun, you're getting into trouble. And that's kind of where I struggled, is I lost that fun for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that I found the right balance, that I'm having fun now. And I'm completely okay with not being an elite rider and having fun. I'm a healthier person for that. I may not be as strong as I was, but I'm a healthier person because I found that balance and I found that fun.
Yeah, that's a great point. I had that with when I was riding outside. Like I had to wrap. I put new bar tape on. I hadn't done that in a couple of years. And I put it on. I'm like, man, I really am not good at doing this. But if I keep doing it, I'll get better.
Yeah.
So whatever. But I was riding with people and I was like, oh, I'm out of shape and, you know, I'm not, you know, more overweight. But I got there and then all of a sudden I'm doing what I like doing, which is going to the front and polling and helping people draft. Because I remember I found an old photo, like this is, it was like 2022. An old friend of the streaming world, Physique, came to here and he rode the group ride and it was a super windy day. And I polled all the people. This is when I was really fit and strong and stuff like that. But I was doing that on Wednesday, this last Wednesday. I pulled like 4 miles for the people, you know, whatever, like, you know, 6 kilometers on this one. We have Etch-a-Sketch out here. So it's like farmland. So it's like straight line, just through pulling people back to the parking lot where we all meet to do the start the group ride. And everyone's like hey, that was a great pull. That was a great pull. And I'm like, I like doing that. That's find your fun and that's it. It might not work for you. Like some people like sitting in and all these other things, but Casey's right. Find your fun, or what I used to say is I like riding my bike, period. All the other stuff, like if you want to train or, hey, I want to ride on Zwift and do this. Do you want to do workouts? Great, do that. But if the riding the bike or doing what you're doing is fun or you like doing it, then that's what you should be doing.
What I've heard is a theme through all 4 of us, though, is it's the people.
Yeah.
Every one of us describing our fun has a big part of that has been people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cyclists like cyclists. That goes with anything. It's like tri people like triathlete people, and you know, it's like, hey, you play softball. That's the sort of thing is the community. The community is big, of course.
Well, you like doing things with people that also like doing the same things.
Yeah.
You have something in common.
Oh yeah. All right. I think that's a good ending point. How about that? I put a little bow on it and say goodbye. All right. I haven't waved yet, but are we ready to roll? Brian, no pronunciations this week. You can practice.
Or flags.
Or flags. All right. Go enjoy your ice cream with peanut butter.
We're out of ice cream. Kids ate it all.
Okay.
I'm bumming.
Bummer.
Damn kids.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.